Hey everybody, Arnaldo Offerman again, and this is actually a continuation of the video I just did about 10 minutes ago that I posted, well, technically yesterday when you see this video. But anyways, it was a question that one of my subscribers, Grant, sent to me, and the reason I'm doing this in a second part is because I kind of ran out of time in the first video. But for those of you that don't know what I'm doing, is my main website, masterschooldances.com. I put in there if you guys have any questions or anything or any requests for the videos, please make sure to contact me. So that's been hit several times, and a lot of you guys have been asking some great questions, some personal questions, some stuff on the new NE1 from ADJ or CompuShow or Arceus or whether it's Grand VG or Media Master. So I'm trying as much as I can to be able to answer everything in a timely manner. With everything that's going on, that's not the easiest thing. But the last question that Grant asked is, what has your career looked like in summary, and how did you get here? Where did you see yourself going, and what have would you have done anything differently? So right now, I'm kind of like at a crossroads because I still do weddings. I love doing weddings, and I could really take all the energy on the DJing business and focus it on 4 schools only. But the thing with that is that I go absolutely crazy without a change of scenery. And while I love schools, I can't just sit there and do nothing but schools, because after a while, it just gets in a repetitive cycle, and I'll be like, "Is this where my life is at, really?" So I like doing weddings. I don't like doing corporate parties. Somebody else can have that crap. There's a few corporate parties that I do like doing, but for the most part, not my cup of tea. We'll let the other DJs handle that, or even our own company DJs handle that, but that's besides the point. I do love doing weddings. It's a blast. So I still do them, but I don't put that primary focus on it. So as I said in the previous video, that's the nice thing about having that support system and the way that we have our company structured, that I can have Kelly focus on, he focuses on that part of the wedding. He also helps me with schools, but likewise I help him with a lot of the wedding marketing and so forth, and he helps me out a ton with operations with schools, because there's only so much that, a few people can do. But now it's one of those things that I kind of think to myself, okay, what do I want to do in 20 years from now? 20 years from now, when I'm 50, I can't sit there and do schools. Well, maybe. I'm going to keep fist pumping until I can't lift my hand anymore. But there comes a point where I will be too old to do schools unless I change up my marketing, or unless I take a step back and run lighting, or run the business part of things and let somebody else take the reins as the spokesperson or the hype man of the company, sort of say. But then the other part of me has discovered how much fun it is to literally go from place to place, install the lights, program them, collect paycheck, and then leave. It is a blast. So I'm kind of trying to balance a little bit of everything, because I do like having multiple jobs. I don't like just being stuck with one thing. But then that means I have less time to be able to focus on something. So now I have to have staff help me out with things like cold calling or prepping parts list, and that's something we're really going to work on this year, because we want to make things as effective as possible. As far as how I got there, well, I took everything that I read online and I didn't pay attention to it. And here's why, because everybody's doing the same thing. And I've talked about this in my marketing, right? If you look at the average DJ website for a wedding, almost all more the same, right? You get a photo of the bride and groom dancing, and they're slightly tilted people in the background. And there's some letters that says, "Congratulations on your big special day. We know how important it is, blah, 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 blah." All the websites will look all the same. Now, that's been changing, and that's been changing a lot in the last couple of years. But I kind of research and look to see what my market's doing and how can I do it completely differently, and not just in how our website looks, but repeal how we show up in my personal branding. I try to make myself look totally different than everybody else, including our own DJs. And I know that may counterproductive, but again, that's just how I personally do things. If I could do something a little bit differently, it would really be some of the purchases that I've made. And I would say probably in the last 4 or 5 years, we've done a really good job narrowing it down. This is what we want. This is what we're going to do with it. But some of the purchases that I've done, I'm like, man, did I waste money on it, or did I jump ship too early? An example is photo booth. Now, when we got into photo booths, we were a little bit late in the game compared to some other companies. But photo booths weren't as advanced or even as portable, because some of my clients, they love portable booths as they are now. So now I've got these really nice portable, beautiful booths that, as far as they put out some beautiful images, the printers work real fast. And then I've got these old booths laying around. And the old booths still work. There's nothing wrong with them. And the product looks good to my client, but it's like internally, it's kind of a nightmare having two of them. But then if you have that train of thought, you're going to keep waiting for the next product and next product and next product. So it's one of those, if I could have done anything differently, I probably would have held off a little bit on the photo booth. But then it's one of those, okay, well, what if I did? And could I be sending out as many photo booths as I'm sending now? And we're not a powerhouse photo booth company by any means. Photo booth to us is like Apple TV for Apple. It's a side project. It's something that, generates extra income, but we don't heavily market it. We let all the other marketing that Four Schools only has and that ecosystem that we created, sounds familiar, to just kind of push that photo booth bit right in the middle. It's like, hey, you should get this too. Really, we literally took the techniques that Apple did and used it for the Apple TV. We used it for the photo booth, which goes back to how did we get here? Well, think differently. Not think different because it's bad grammar. Shame on you, Steve Jobs. Think differently. For me, I have based a lot of my marketing based on what I've seen Apple doing. I'm a huge Apple fan. Not really, I love their products, don't get me wrong, but the marketing, the reality distortion field that Steve Jobs created is just mind-blowing. There's irony in that statement, by the way, but okay, let's try that again. Sorry, I got cut off for a second. So I watched the Steve Notes, and I looked what this guy says and how he does his presentations, and it's not just, hey, we have a product, check it out. It's, okay, look, you've got this problem. And he almost writes almost like a movie, and really watch it. You don't pay attention until you really break it down. It's almost like a movie where here's the good guy, here's the bad guy. Oh, they're about to fight, but he needs a weapon to defeat the bad guy. Bam, I got the weapon. Bad guy loses. Let me show you how that works. That's essentially how every Apple presentation is. So I kind of took a little bit out of each one and how can I fine tune that to be what Four Schools only, can do. Yeah, I could have done what another DJ does, but why? I don't want to do what another DJ has done before. And I'm sure that inherently some of the stuff that I've done, I know other people have done before, but I try to put a different twist on it. And I did that by following an industry that's not related in the DJ industry at all. So funny enough, that ties into if you ever go into a convention, well, why do they bring the seminar speaker? He's not a DJ. Because they're successful, duh. So you should pay attention to them because you too can be successful. The other thing, again, as far as what the future holds, heck if I know. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing next week at this point. I'm definitely not giving up Four Schools only anytime soon, but the question is, am I going to retire being a DJ? I know there are DJs out there living on great retirement plans just on DJ and income alone, but they had a whole different business plan than I do. My plan is to get Four Schools only to blow up, get huge, which, it's already on that path, especially if you look at our financial figures the last few years. We are exponentially increasing. But then what? Do I let somebody else take over? Does that hurt our company image? Will it be as successful as one CEO going to another, or as a train wreck as one CEO going to another? There's multiple exceptions and examples to that rule. Again, going back to Apple, some people see Tim Cook doing a great job following after Steve Jobs. Some people see it as a disaster, and that's one of my worries: is what happens when I'm done with the whole Four Schools only thing. I say, hey, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go work in lighting development, or I'm going to go work in installations, or whatever I choose to do. And can I do both? I'm greedy, and I'm going to try to do both. But at some point, my family's going to want more attention from me than they're getting right now. And that's one of the tough things about it. But I regret nothing. You can't. If you regret something, just, the smallest little business decision could have affected everything else you've done. So, no, I really wouldn't change anything. Except maybe when somebody came up and said, build a photo booth, Arnaldo, do it right in the middle of summer. It's a great idea. That little voice in your head that says that, punch it in the face, just punch it in the throat. But yeah, so Grant, thank you very much for your question. Sorry I'm not looking at the camera the whole time. It really is distracting looking at the main one. But again, thank you very much for watching the videos. If you guys have any questions or anything, submit them. Go to masterschooldances.com. Again, masterschooldances.com. Submit a DM, send me a message, whatever. It doesn't have to be about, hey, talk about yourself, because I don't want that. I want you guys to ask me questions that will help you better your business, whether it's lighting or video stuff or maybe something regarding schools. And I can only really give so much school information out because most of it is from Master School Dances, and I don't want to be unfair to the people that did pay for the videos, but I'll answer what I can. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Drive home safely. Good night and God bless.